Okay, and we're back to talk about low frequency oscillator. So we actually can have two of these. We can have VCO2 set to low frequency, kind of like on the ARP 2600. Every oscillator can be an LFO. On this one, we only have one sort of assignable LFO, but it does a lot. I don't really miss it when I'm using this synth, but maybe it's because I embrace what this is, and it's designed to sound really good, and sound really good in a certain way. So if you embrace that part of it, it kind of works for you. So we're back, with our just sine wave patch here. I'm gonna change. Okay, so we've got kind of a pulse wave with a sawtooth now. Okay, so we've got a little bit of envelope happening here, not much, and we're going to play around with the LFO. So you notice we have some different shapes, we have some different places to assign it by pushing a button. So the best way is to demonstrate this is just to demonstrate it. So if we push VCO1, what happens? And you'll notice there's a few knobs here. This is the speed of the LFO, how fast it's changing the sound over time. And this is how much it's happening. So how much pitch change in this case. So we're changing the pitch of LFO VCO1. I'm going to just play one note because this is going to be... So you hear it's doing a sine wave to the pitch. If we take VCO2 out of, you can just hear it moving around. This can be used to create kind of a vibrato. A ridiculous one in this case. We can also, subtle, turn it down. Right, so it's a nice effect used sparingly if we're doing pitch. We can assign it to both oscillators. And some fun stuff we'll do later, some advanced stuff, we can assign it to the pitch of VCO2 while it's in an LFO and then cross modulate VCO2 to VCO1, and it does some crazy stuff. Also, this is probably the best time to demonstrate this. We have sine waves, we have sawtooth. Let's slow this down. Alright, so you can now hear the visual representation of a sawtooth. It's going up and then dropping down. And then we have the reverse. Honestly, I think of this as the sawtooth with the hard part on the front. And then we have a square wave. So it's just jumping from high to low. Then we have random. Okay, so that makes it really obvious because it's assigned to pitch. We can also do more musically useful stuff with this. Amplitude is fun. So it's just jumping in volume based on random sampling. We can do it, with a sine wave too and have it more like a wave. Alright, so this is your tremolo. Okay, and fun to do. Less fun with certain other, but you get the idea. It works really nice on the release of that. Okay, filter frequency, same thing. I'm going to take the envelope down, so the filter envelope is no longer affecting the filter. Okay, so you hear almost nothing. Okay. if we assign it to filter frequency, and there we've got some early 2000s dubstep. We can even do it with squares. Okay, so here at whine, we can assign it to the filter mode, which is really interesting. Let me see. In this case, it's kind of useful to have random. So we're basically fading this knob automatically between low pass, high pass, and notch. Obviously, we push the band knob, it defeats because it defeats this knob. And this benefits from resonance. Okay, so that's fun. We'll use square. Okay, and lastly we have pulse width modulation. So let me get both oscillators set to their square waves, you see here. And let's just start with VCO1. And we'll do a sine wave, I guess. And so what's happening is this knob is fading all the way left to right. And remember, the far left side of this knob from the oscillator video is blank sound, basically, because the pulse gets so skinny that it doesn't make a sound. And same thing if we add to oscillator 2. And you see you can kind of offset how it's working with the two pulse width knobs, which does help the sound maintain itself if you've got your amount knob turned all the way up to make it really obvious in a tutorial video. And again, different shapes. So that's kind of fun because, you know, we're modulating the pulse width all the way off the charts into no sound there with the random. So I hope this gives you some ideas. We're going to go into this pretty deep when we start really designing sounds here in a couple videos. So I hope that helps.